So I want to keep this video PG for obvious reasons, for YouTube, for not getting banned or blocked. But it could be a very useful video for a lot of you guys who want to reverse ED. You want some improvements. You want more of the blood flow, more of the vascularity, and this is for your entire body. But it's I think the bit that people really want is for the downstairs region, let's say. And I have observed lots of these things over the years. Some of them are very effective. Some of them kind of depend on the individual. And clients have also told me about things like this. So I've got quite a lot of experience to draw from. So yeah, these things will improve your blood flow, the entire body. You'll have more of a pump during your workouts, which is kind of nice. Although a lot of that will depend on the temperature as well, your body heat and the weather. And you'll also, it'll make a massive difference in terms of reversing ED, getting more morning wood, and having less of that performance anxiety because you know you don't have any issues there anymore. This will address the physical, not necessarily the psychological. So the physical side of things. Over the years, I have noticed that this is not advice, but I will get to my actual advice in a minute. Whenever I have had a decent amount of red wine the night before, the next morning my entire body is more vascular. I'm not saying go out and drink loads of red wine, but this doesn't happen with beer, and it doesn't happen with spirits. And it's because the red wine has what red grapes have, which is resveratrol, which is an antioxidant, but it also improves blood flow, especially when you have large quantities. And it was just after the 5th or 6th time, I used to live in an apartment in Wilmslow, and this is kind of when I started to notice this. After the 5th or 6th time of doing this, hanging out with girls and drinking a load of red wine in the evening, the next morning my veins were popping, especially when I hit the gym, and I was like, oh my god, there's something to this red wine thing. But if you want to keep it clean, and I suggest you do, red grapes will give you the same benefits, but without the alcohol, without it ruining your sleep, without it taxing your liver, and without the immediate testosterone dampening effects of the alcohol. So red grapes are really, really good. You do need to have quite a lot of them, but red grapes are great. There's been quite a few other things. Raw beets have definitely made a big difference. Some of you guys will know what gelking is. A lot of you won't. I can't really explain it, but if you go on YouTube and type it in, there's videos of doctors talking about it. There's one video of a female doctor talking about it. In the comments section, you can see all the reviews. Not reviews, but guys talking about how it works, because it does work. But I would notice that when I was doing these workouts, great, it's fucking raining. Hopefully my phone survives. But when I was doing these gelking workouts, after having raw beets a few hours prior to the training, I would have more vascularity every time I did this. And so I started to put 2 and 2 together and thought, oh, clearly raw beets are a useful addition to the stack. And again, it comes down to nitrates. You're going to get a lot more nitric oxide in your body, which is what forces the blood vessels open, encourages more blood flow. So beets were a big one, and I would have like two beets before doing these gelking workouts. And I would advise you guys to do the same. If you're after morning wood or you want to reverse ED, I think it's a very good idea. And then something a lot of my clients have noticed with their blood flow maxing experiments. Guys, there was one Canadian guy who was having issues, and he said the one thing that worked for him in terms of getting morning wood again was L-citrulline. And a lot of ignore that. L-citrulline, and for you guys who don't want to take supplements, lots of watermelon. because it's more or less the same benefits. And again, it's going to force the blood vessels open. It never really did much for me for some reason, but a lot of guys find use in it, and so I have to recommend it. And I think, yeah, I believe it. You want to start off at like 1.5 grams and then taper upwards from there over time if you're not getting anything from it. I would just jump in at the heaviest dose. But that and watermelon. And another one, pomegranate juice, and also any kind of potassium heavy foods or supplements. I have a potassium supplement. It's very, very easy to get lots of salt through the diet, but getting enough potassium can be harder. But also potassium, this is a big one, guys. Actually, this is probably one of the biggest one. I don't know why I've done it as number 4. Potassium makes an obvious difference. It makes your face look less bloated within like half an hour. It's really, really quick. But it's also amazing for the heart function and how effective it is at pumping blood throughout the body. And again, you're going to notice this in your workouts, but I'm talking gym workouts here, but you'll notice it in the other kind of workouts if you were to do jelqing, and the vascularity there. And again, potassium, you can notice the difference within about half an hour. A lot of guys are going to benefit from this. A lot of guys had no idea. Even I didn't know that potassium was really good for blood flow. ED, morning wood, until about a year ago. It was relatively new to me, and I discovered it partly by accident because of a vanity goal to do with making my face look a bit sharper, and I realized my blood flow was better as well. And so potassium is a big deal, and it's quite cheap supplement you can get from you guys in the UK. I got mine from Holland and Barrett, and they had a deal on. It's quite cheap. But potassium's potassium. You don't need an amazing brand. I doubt they're going to be lacing it with weird stuff. But anyway, they're 4 big things that have all been effective, either for me or people I trust and I know they're not lying, because they have no incentive to lie. Loads of people find watermelon useful, and or L-citrulline. So if you're having any issues there, I would test them out for yourself. This is assuming you're getting a decent amount of sunlight. Your body fat percentage is not a huge problem. You know, if you're over 20%, I would look at that first. And if you've not seen the sun in months, that's kind of a big deal. And sleep quality is always huge, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing. So many cars, this is doing my head in. But in addition, yeah, those foundational things, and then those 4 things I've just spoken about: potassium, L-citrulline, red grapes, and whatever the 4th one was. That you do all of those, you'll be good to go, honestly. Now, if you're wondering about testosterone specifically, check out this video where I talk about the one biggest indirect reason that most men will never be high testosterone. It's all to do with priorities, and you might be falling foul of this mistake. Definitely check it out. It's quite a popular one, gets you thinking, and I'll see you in that one.